Buongiorno. My name is Anderson Pereira, and I'm business director at Intoo, a platform that can impact economies through helping businesses to grow and get credit in the market. Well, it's very well known that small and medium-sized businesses have an important role in our society. Those are the companies who employ a huge percent of people worldwide. And in Brazil, this is not different. All 7 million SMEs employ 6 out of 10 workers. We're talking about that if we compare the whole entire population of Italy work for those companies in Brazil. And what if I tell you, if they suffer in the same problem? Over 90% of all those 7 million companies have difficulties to have access to credit. And this is not enough. Brazil has one of the highest, if not the highest, interest rates in the whole world. And when we saw those numbers at Intoo, we tried to figure it out. What is going on? Who is responsible for it? Are the banks the bad guys? And what do we find out is that no. Over 60% of all revenue that banks have with SMEs are spent with transaction and acquisition costs. And that makes sense, because SMEs, they're not just in capitals. They're spread all over Brazil, and trust me, Brazil is a huge country. It's hard and expensive for banks to have bank agents in everywhere. So that's the main problem that Intoo was created to solve. So help them to acquire customers and help them to get more easily information about those companies. I show you how it works. Companies registered at Intoo, we have a screening algorithm that goes to more than 300 public and private databases and collect information about those companies and create what we call a credit profile. With this credit profile, companies are able to ask for working capital loans or selling an account receivable through our platform. We send this to several banks with just one time. On the other hand, banks can access our platform. They can find several credit requests and use a set of filters to narrow their search, like revenue, how many employees does each company has, and find the right business to lend money. So we're talking here that for companies, we reduce drastically the acquisition cost for those we reduce drastically the bureaucracy in order to do the credit process for the credit acquisition process, and we also offer them the possibility to find several credit offers in just one time. For banks, we reduce drastically the acquisition cost for those customers. And they can also use Intoo as a business intelligence tool for find the right customer to lend money. And you know what is better? We charge no extra fee, no fixed cost for banks. They just pay a fee for each transaction. On the company side, they can choose one of the subscription plans or just pay a flat fee. Well, who is doing this in Brazil? The name is Portal Progredir. Is a department inside Petrobras that was created to fund only Petrobras supply chain. And I will repeat, only Petrobras supply chain. And in 1.5 years, they intermediated $2 billion and reduced on average 20% their interest rates for those customers. We have a senior team behind this project. Half of us came from the financial market. Our 2 founders are masters in law. And this plays a key role for us. Once it's not a business for amateurs, you have to know how to navigate it between a very complex legal environment in Brazil. Since 1 year ago, when we were founded, we brought together 12 banks, including the second largest banks in Brazil, 19,000 companies, and we also had been chosen as the best the best technological company for financial marketing in Latin America. We raised money from Telefónica, also from Mercado Livre, the Latin America eBay, from the federal government, and also for the VC arm of 3G Group from George Paulo Lemann. Our investors can allow us to have access from over 60 million companies in Brazil in his databases, and now we're here to ask for 1.5 million for basically invest on our product development and also for make us able to attend all the demand that our investors can allow us to have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anderson. Now, the jury, please.
Yeah. How do you evaluate the barrier to change, for instance, for banks? I mean, because basically you're proposing to change their systems, so they can be against any change in system that they have been using.
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
I mean, what about the barrier to change for banks, for instance, in adopting your systems, because they've been adopting for years and years the same systems that can be not efficient?
We're not doing any integration. The banks they just access our platform with a login and a password.
Mm-hmm.
So how it works, basically, we send for bank, we parameterize our system to the right profile for the customer for them. And each time that a company asks for a loan, with that profile, we send an email for the bank manager, and he can access our platform using a password, a login, and offer them a credit proposal.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just, let's say, the cost related to change the IT platform, but also, let's say, the resilience that people working in the banks can have in using a new system.
We're integrated with them with the high department, like superintendents and directors. So I think it's a top-down thing to the banks, because they're realizing that they have to have another technologies to find new customers.
Okay. One thing that I didn't understand, do you do the credit analysis or the bank themselves do? And if you do that, how each bank probably they have their own analysis criteria. How do they handle that?
No, we just offer them the information, and the bank, all the information they need to analyze a client. We reduce the symmetry of information once we concentrated all information there, but everywhere in just one place.
Right, so like the real value is in the database that you have and in the ability to push the information to the banks. Is there any IP or like any value that like you provide in assessing the credit risk for the banks?
Sorry.
So the main value here is the database and the ability to kind of push information.
Actually, the main value is reducing drastically the acquisition cost for those customers. We also offer them information they can be able to offer credit for them. I think through Intoo, they can in easily and cheaply and fastly way find the right customer to meet their needs.
Okay, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.